Welcome back to the Dragon Den, my loyal Dragonites. King of Dragons 5000 is back with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Retro Carded Scarlett. And so here we have Scarlett posed and out of the packaging, and before we have a look at the figure, let's run through her accessories. Scarlett does come with 2 pairs of hands, as well as his signature crossbow and 4 bolts for her crossbow. Also included is a handgun, 2 machine guns, a knife, her backpack, and 2 styles of her ponytail. Other than that, Scarlett doesn't come with any other accessories, so with that out of the way, let's have a closer look at the retro carded Scarlett. Hasbro has done a really good job capturing that classic image of Scarlett and bringing her into the classified look. It's a great looking figure and she has some very impressive details. Starting off with her head sculpt, this is a very good head sculpt for Scarlett. She does have on a stoic expression which looks really great, and her green eyes look really impressive as well. With some added details such as some freckles and some blush, Scarlett does look very amazing here. And her red hair is sculpted really nicely, having a little bit of a dark wash into it. As far as her costume goes, she is wearing a grey bodysuit underneath what appears to be her leotard. The leotard is nicely sculpted, where we do have some added details in the actual material. It does appear that she has a smoke grenade on the left side of her leotard, and we do have her right shoulder pad. And overall it has some really great line work going throughout the leotard as well. Her grey bodysuit carries over to her arms nicely, where it does capture her physique really nicely. It all meets up at her gloves, which have a really good color matching her leotard. Her left guard actually has some impressive detail with some shurikens on the outside and a miniature gun on the inside of her forearm. And her right glove just has that line work, which is still really nice, and I do like the added knuckles on her gloves. Around her waist she is wearing 2 belts, where we have one sculpted on her leotard and one that's a separate piece. Her outside belt is nicely detailed, where the buckle is actually painted in black, and we do have some shells on the left side of her belt. And on the right side we do have some storage for her crossbow bolts, which look really nice here. And the sculpt work on her leotard is actually really nice, and there is some actual sculpt separation between the leotard and her bodysuit. The grey undersuit is done really nicely, and I like the color of grey that's on it, and at the top of each of her hips she does have on some pouches. On her left thigh we do have a holster that is specific for her knife. And at the top of her right hip we do have another sculpted strap, which is independent of every other accessory. As far as the undersuit goes, it's really done nicely, and there is some muscular detail on her thighs. It all goes down to her boots, which are the same color as her leotard and her gloves, and they do have some pouches at the top of each boot. On the front of each boot it does appear that Scarlett does have some armor padding, which looks really nice, and the panel lining on each of her boots looks really good. And I love the sculpted detail on her boots, where it looks like she has some actual treads on the bottom of her soles. So overall, Scarlett has some very impressive detailing, and I like what Hasbro has done here with Scarlett. So with her details out of the way, let's compare Scarlett to our usual suspects. Here we have Scarlett posed next to Marvel Legends Cyclops and DC Multiverse Superman, Mattel's WWE Elite Series and Mezco's 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man, the Lightning Collection White Ranger, and the Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And finally, here we do have the retro carded Scarlett posed next to the classified Scarlett and the Origin Scarlett. So overall, Scarlett is going to look nice in your 1/12 display, and she looks better with the G.I. Joe collection. So with her comparisons out of the way, let's have a look at her articulation. Scarlett has a double ball joint in the head and a ball joint in her neck, butterfly joints in her shoulders, arms go out to the side and do a full 360. Swivel at the bicep and has a doubled hinge elbow. Swivel hinge in her wrists. Scarlett has a ball joint in her upper torso and a ball joint in her lower torso. Ball hinge hips kick forward, go back, out to the side, and have a thigh swivel. She has a double bend in her knees, a swivel at her boot, a hinge in the ankle, and forward-facing pin for rocker. So some very impressive detailing here on the retro carded Scarlett, and it works perfectly for her. With everything said and done about the retro carded Scarlett, let's get her posed for my final thoughts. And so here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Retro Carded Scarlett pose for my final thoughts, and Hasbro has done a really good job bringing that retro look for Scarlett and making her into the Classified line. Though we have got other Scarletts in the past, I think this does a really good job, especially if you're a fan of that vintage look. I do appreciate all the accessories that Scarlett comes with. Having her with 2 machine guns is a really good touch, and I especially love her crossbow. But overall, everything works perfectly here for Scarlett, and I'm really digging the way they sculpted her head. Giving her the added benefit of a down ponytail and an action ponytail was a really smart move, giving us a really nice set of display options. At the time of making this video, I did pick up the Retro Card Scarlett from Amazon, where it does appear that Amazon and other online retailers might be the only way to get G.I. Joe Classified figures at this point. I'm seeing less and less of them at stores like Walmart and Target, so shopping online for Scarlett might be the only way to actually add her to your collection. And if you weren't a fan of that original Scarlett we got in Wave 1 of the Classified line, this is a perfect chance to get your vintage look for Scarlett. With that being said, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and check out the rest of my G.I. Joe videos. If you're in a position to help out the Dragon Den, check out my Patreon where I have some exclusive content and early access videos. Check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, videos, recent pickups, latest prints, and as always, ring that bell so you never miss another video. And until next time, my fellow Dragonites coming from the Dragon Den, I'm King of Dragons 5000 reminding you to redesign, rebuild, and reclaim. I'll see you next time.